Huni has played a lot of Gnar throughout his career, throughout his years, even at Worlds with SKT. And he's going to be doing it once again here. In mini form, you do have to be worried about flashes coming through with a Renekton Volibear, because that can be a really scary combo. If they get a flash stun on you, you are dead. Other than that, though, you should be able to keep your distance. Hyper did get some buffs for attack speed, so Gnar can utilize it to be really annoying and try and keep your range with it. Your boomerang spam allows you to also play defensively if you are on weak side. Your jungler's already down bottom and that there's going to be pressure around. So it is a pretty versatile pick, but later into the game, you also have to play around that rage bar and coordinating with your team.
Sure.
So there's a lot more things to think about.
A lot of things to think about for sure. I want to point out that this is 3 games in a row that I believe Huni has gotten himself counter pick, and this is the first time of those 3 his champion is actually favored to win a game of League of Legends against his lane opponent. Not saying the matchup in lane can't be the case, but overall game impact. We saw the Shen beating a dive comp, for example. All that stuff can make things really, really tough right here. So now we expect Gnar to do well into Renekton in lane, or at least pretty decently. And then also, obviously, team fight prowess with the comp around. This is the first time I feel Huni is actually favored to do well. So I'm curious to see if this is what it takes for EG to come around. Again, we expect Syndra to be good into Orianna, but Syndra was heavily nerfed, and if she's not given first blood at level 1, if she's not given a double kill at level 4, you might see Goldenglue having a much better time in this lane. And EG, I do think, have a draft that we can get behind and be excited for and see if they can pull back the series.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
It is FlyQuest's new motto, the hashtag go deep, but it is EG that have to dig deep right now. Because they are backs against the walls. They're going to have to go down to the lower bracket. It's looking really scary for them right now.
We're going to hope that EG can play again in this one. A win in Game 3 means they can play a Game 4. Otherwise, they are down to the lower bracket with a date against 100 Thieves. And they will play that this weekend, by the way. Dignitas versus TSM is tomorrow. It is tomorrow at the same time and place, off the fact that, yes, indeed, Golden Guardians 3-0'd TSM, and EG are about to face that same fate, staring down the barrel of a 3-0 at the hands of FlyQuest, with the Battle of Thieves, who are just constantly taking notes. How can we get someday to clap Huni as hard as Solo has been? How can we get everything else to go well with Ryoma and the rest of the crew? EG need to win to keep themselves in the chance at holding on to an upper bracket spot. FlyQuest looking to knock them down here and now.
I immediately started laughing because we talked about it in Champ Select, but Zeyzal is watching that wall, but like a hawk behind the dragon pick. It's like, all right, IgNar, you're not making this move again. He does have a lot of solo queue as well, but it is going to be a normal start this time around. No possibilities of those level 1 invades anymore. Svenskeren and Santorin both starting bottom side. So if Santorin really wants to, you can do blue buff, Gromp, red buff on Volibear. You do it really quick because it's just single target camps with your machete, and you can immediately run up to try and punish Huni. Gnar can push Renekton early. It's super annoying with the range advantage and the boomerangs, but like I was saying, if you get up there with a jungler with flash, you get up there at level 3 with red buff, they can double flash on the mini Gnar, and even if the other jungler is there, you win the 2v2 because the double flash, you can layer your CC, you can kill a mini Gnar before he can transform. Huni has worked up his rage bar though, and we'll see how well he can keep it. Of course, last hitting in lane, just going to try and save the autos for that.
The Huni fleet footwork going to be running around trying to kite and keep dealing the damage. 11 out of 12 CS is going to be the start. Good job, Solo. Started with Dash, by the way, to get in and out of those fights and get CS without taking too much damage. That was the adaptation for this matchup.
It's coming.
Nice stun right there. And he can start going for the heals when needed.
So
Santorin nearby.
They saw Huni walk down to the tri-bush. If Santorin really wanted to pull that gank off, then he could have run the long route through the river. But it made me think that they didn't actually want to go for the gank. His whole purpose there was to kill the ward. They knew the ward was there. He just went to efficiently sweep it. And look what it's causing. It's causing some extra time. Svenskeren kind of hovers up there waiting for it. Now, possible fight over the bottom crab. Mid lane, more push for Goldenglue. So looks like it should be advantage Svenskeren in the crab fight.
Yeah, gets the ward knocked down as well, so Svenskeren is there. Goldenglue, as you mentioned, gets the push. So goodbye, Santorin. Get away from this one, as they both kill the ward. 4 camps apiece, but now the 5th camp goes to Svenskeren, getting that one first, and it is Santorin now running to the other side of the map to look for wolves and second scuttle or something, and it's not going to be really all that exciting for the guy.
Yeah, his bottom lane is also pushed in, so he's like, team gap, can't get the crab either. Double crab is pulled off for EG as Bang and Zeyzal. They're able to push on up. Pretty easy to take it for themselves as well. Always feels nice to get the double crab for the extra safety and leave Santorin with a lot fewer options because he did kind of reverse clear back down here. No more camps for him to take. Only his Krugs are up, so you just kind of sit there with no extra camps to take, and he's kind of forcing the possible gank there onto Orianna, thinks better of it, and just has to return to the Gromp.
I really like this laning by Bang and Zeyzal. This is hard to do if you don't get really, really good farm, but Bang's able to recall off of 5 waves, right? The wave number 3, 6, 9, 12, those are the cannon waves. You want to recall in the face of a cannon wave, which means you want to recall on 5 or the 5th or 8th wave, right? And he manages to recall on the 5th wave with enough money for a pickaxe. You do not get that without very good CS. 32 CS is a really, really good mark by Bang. Well done to him. If you don't have the mechanics of Bang, you're not going to get that good of a recall. And so he's able to get in lane at a decent time. He lost 3 melee minions, and now he's up a pickaxe in the laning phase, and Turtle isn't going to have a recall that's good in sight for a while, and this is going to give a lot of lane pressure. I think we should expect an early Drake out of Svenskeren off of bot pressure. This should look really good on the EG side.
Yep, they're able to get it slow pushing back towards them. Ooh, nice little trade here from Huni, whittling Solo down. Probably going to force a teleport recall as Huni's doing a good job keeping up that pressure.
Yeah, looking good right now. Of course, Solo already down that potion to heal back up to half HP. Svenskeren does have a reason to be top side yet again as he's clearing through his top jungle once again without any ward coverage. You know, theoretically, right, a flash stun could be some decent damage. Solo at half health feels safe enough with his own flash available. Dodges away the boomerang. He's okay, but we can really see Huni is putting the hurt down right there, and Solo's trying his best to pick up the scraps. And to be fair, he's pretty much equal in CS, so not too bad for him just yet.
And because Huni has been able to charge up his Rage Bar, he's so close to turning into Mega that it's not as scary as we were talking about before, where the Flash would mean instant death on Mini.
Though.
Yeah,
he has the ult for this place, so Santorin's just stunned to the wall. You ganked a Mega Gnar! You are just dead! This is something you could know about, and well done right there. The XP could have been tracked, but a good play by Huni. Gets the stun to the wall. Good follow by Svenskeren. For the first time all series, EG gets first blood.
Big difference between Mini and Mega, and that's why Huni wasn't scared. They even had pings down on the river looking for it. Huni just turns to the juicy jungler coming up. He hits level 6 off of this minion. He's able to get that last melee kill, immediately turns for the kill onto the level 4 jungler. So nice here for EG because they had really been getting destroyed in this series. Now they've got a nice early game to work off of.
Alrighty, so Svenskeren going to feel a bit more comfortable off the fact that he's got these same boots that his opposing champion has in Santorin. Slightly better recall, at least more gold in the pockets right now. When Huni finally takes his recall, he'll have 400 more gold than his opponent. And there we go, 640 into the game. Bot lane under turret constantly. Turtle, thankfully for himself, has teleport to get back because, look, he's going to recall, he's going to try to recall, and the wave is in front of his turret. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better until he finally recalls and gets items. EG going to get the very easy Drake. They are winning in top lane. They are winning in bottom lane. This is looking really good right now for Evil Geniuses in Game 3.
And I do like that Goldenglue is going with the more scaling Orianna option, where you start the tier early, heading towards the Seraphs. It does have a little bit weaker of a mid game than your other mana options, but I just love Seraph so much with the transform, especially with Orianna having the extra shield for yourself later. Lets you use your ball and your positioning so much more offensively.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun, especially if you can stay alive and get those shields and everything else. Going to feel comfortable there. PowerOfEvil just doing well in the farm game. PoE is winning lane, and that is a pretty much uninterrupted mid lane. This has been straight 1v1, and PoE getting the better of it to the tune of 10 CS at under 8 minutes. First recalls come through, first TPs come through as Solo gets Ninja Tabby and double longsword, so able to withstand a lot more of the damage. And Huni, he's like, well, I'm going to recall anyway. Let's just burn the Mega Gnar ulti. Who cares? Knocking down some minions. I'm going to come back and grab my items too.
Yeah, it should just be answered pretty quickly too with the teleport. Solo's fast pushing in on that wave to try and force it. Did you see if that was a? Yeah, there's the teleport. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
there's like no way.
Yeah, so there's going to be just small desync here for FlyQuest in their favor for Solo, but not going to be a very big deal. Support roam timing.
Okay, here we go up to the top side. This is 8.5 minutes in, a bit, normal for Rift Herald spawn as they are doing battle back and forth. Zeyzal knocked in the air, but not a lot of CC to be had, really, not a lot of damage to come through. And it's going to be safety as, well, it's going to be Blue handed over, no problem to Goldenglue as Zeyzal just sits there and gains XP in the mid lane.
And again, this is the 8-minute Rift Herald timing here that they are going to try and force. I think with Renekton with a fully stacked Rage Bar feels pretty good about this fight. Huni's trying to work up the possible transformation for himself, and you can kind of hold his Rage Bar right over Mega until they get the clear on these wards to actually start up the fight.
All right. Well, 700 gold lead right now. Evil Geniuses just a little bit more gold than they get just from the first blood itself. That was 600 of that difference. And Svenskeren, Steel Finley Conqueror on the side of the map. Easy push top side for Huni. Of course, components of Cleaver. Way better recall than Solo had. Thank you, First Blood, for that one. Going to feel real comfortable. Going to walk down. Going to grab that Herald. And honestly, there honestly should be a fair bit of pressure in the top side. This feels like the most clear-cut matchup advantage. Huni, I think, is favored here. He's going to keep Solo under turret constantly. I do want to see that Herald show up in the next maybe minute or so to knock down more of that turret and let Huni really keep Solo under the gun.
Yeah, if you can accelerate the split pushing options by taking down a lot of these turret plates, opening up the entire lane with a Rift Herald to execute it, that would be huge. But look at this bottom side, because there was not going to be an answer from FlyQuest on the Rift Herald. Santorin was already headed down to the bottom side, so they weren't going to contest it, threatening the possible dive with the level 6 ultimate from Volibear. He ends up waiting down there for a super long time, all the way through the Rift Herald, through the reset, and now with Zeyzal returning with Bang, it's just, there's too much safety with Tahm Kench, and they end up not getting anything out of that waiting time. And just look at the CS discrepancy that's opened up in the jungle. A lot of this waiting for Santorin is hurting. Level 6 now to level 7. Decent amount head there for Svenskeren.
Yeah, nice stuff right there. Gotta say, props to Solo for growing an 6 CS lead in the bottom lane off of even after getting first blooded, or at least his junk getting first blooded, and making that difficult. But here we go. There is the Herald summon. There is plate number 2 taking decent damage, and if they play aggressively enough for it, they can knock that plate before the charge. Even if they don't, it's still going to be Herald charge for another 160 gold apiece. Sadly for him, the mini wave is right there, so this is really awkward. They are at least going to knock down the Krugs. The Herald's not turning around, but Santorin's coming around, and they might miss the charge because of the timing of the mini wave. There's another attack coming in. They might miss the turret damage, and they do. That is such a heartbreak for EG, and an arrow to make it worse. This could be turning around rapidly. Ult over the top for Bang, but is it going to be enough? Svenskeren's going to die. That is a heartbreak. EG should have gotten a turret plate. Instead, they get killed. Shockwave not going to be enough damage. FlyQuest, they keep getting away with it.
That is ridiculous, Freak. The only thing you have to worry about is minion placement. IgNar now is going to run for his life as well. Zeyzal, another tongue lash.
It's damage. I don't think you get the kill, but it's a lot of damage right there. He has the Tahm Kench behind in case it's going to go badly. It's going to force a recall out. That sucks. That was 300 gold they could have earned in the day. It's not going to be the case. Well played by Santorin and Solo to knock that one down. Great arrow by WildTurtle. The better global marksman ult. And now we go back to the game state. It is a gold lead for EG, but the wind just got let out of their sails.
I guess we need to go over this again. Actually put out a video earlier on, but your minions, the minions are the only thing that is, going to put a stop to that Rift Herald, and you can just watch your minions spawning and where they're walking down your minion wave, down your lane, to know where your opponents are. Even if you don't have vision in the opponent lane, the minions are mirrored because they both spawn from the Nexus at the exact same time, and they walk the same speeds this early into this game. So it's pretty easy to work around the positioning of your own minions to know where they are. And Rift Herald getting stopped on that wave was so big.
Yeah, really, really big stuff. So, still got to say, EG, 1-0 and Drake's up in gold. And I still like their comp a decent amount for late game as well. So, despite the heartbreaks there, I still want to reframe the conversation as EG doing better than they have in most of the games this series. They got the first blood. They've been making good plays. Again, I like Huni's matchup. He's back in the lane with Digitabby and a Black Cleaver. He's going to have that right now. Ruin King, of course, not done for Solo, so this Gnar can start doing a lot of work. But Solo is up 20 CS. Like, Solo's actually laning it very well, despite, a slightly awkward matchup. He's doing a great job up there in that lane, and we'll see what can happen next.
and he's going Blade of the Ruin King. I love seeing Renektons go Blade of the Ruin King early. I know in LPL, a lot of them do go Black Cleaver as well super early on. There are definitely some that do Blade of the Ruin King, but it is just so scary once you get first item, Blade of the Ruin King completed with him, fully stacked Rage W. This is just another look at them popping the Rift Trail. They get the eye hit, then Turtle, as you mentioned. Ashe Arrow from the fountain, just right on target as well, and they fully burst down Svenskeren. No Haymaker. Huni goes over. PowerOfEvil does have to flash, but no counter kill or anything comes through from EG, and their objective nullified.
All right, FlyQuest now the ones looking at this Drake. They're not stacking them too fast on either side, but Drake number 2 is on the map at 14 minutes, and FlyQuest taking this one with Santorin soloing it. Looks like no one's going to be really answering that one. Senna walking back to lane, and Turtle already has it under the turret, so looks like that'll be a easy 1v0 kill, and FlyQuest will tie the Drake score here. 300 gold lead still holding for Evil Geniuses, but now that the Drakes are tied, it's not as big of a lead as you may have expected from earlier on. Turret plates have dropped, and I believe the second turret plate was already taken by Huni in the top side, so a bit more gold earned. And now looking at even more turret damage as Svenskeren is there. TP coming in for solo. Now Gnar is going to have ulti for that one, but they don't want to go for the play. Instead, they're going to spot IgNar. That is a charm. That is a double knockup here as well. It's 3 up on the top side. Hello to PowerOfEvil. And that's going to be, yep, kills over the board. 2 more picked up. FlyQuest continue to be the better team. Meanwhile, bot lane turret's gone. Turtle is slowed, though. He's in danger. He's going to be rooted up as well. Here comes Goldenglue. They're going to have the damage just barely. Bang picks that one up. Turtle is back in the graveyard.
Yeah, EG do get a counter kill on the strong side of the map for them, using their mid lane teleport down there at the same timing. But FlyQuest play was just better and earlier setup. IgNar, again, they just chain CC 100% to 0 this set. Once again, there's so many options. Renekton stun, Syndra stun right out of the charm and knockup from Rakan here. Just look at it. Svenskeren doesn't get a chance to do anything. Charm into knockup, into stun. You see the bar charging up. Whenever you see that grip bar fully charged up, you're like, oh, is there going to be any sort of turnaround? Senna ultimate comes through. There could be a shield to turn around or something that happens, but no, they get bursted down. Then we see WildTurtle. They do get caught up there with the slow. So WildTurtle, you got to leave him. And Santorin immediately calls it off. Good luck, buddy, in the 1v3 piece.
Yeah, can't hit it, though. They got the turret down there, so still well done to him. Turtle, of course, you can see his farm lead about +10. He's got the assist from the cross-map play, which is really nice. And hey, with the turret kill, it is FlyQuest up in gold, only team with a turret, and they're up a kill, so well done to that squad. Farm leads in most roles at this point. And now EG playing around the top side yet again. The Herald is up. We'll see if they get anything for that. Otherwise, FlyQuest shoving in the mid lane first. Goldenglue doing his best to wave clear. Archangel's done. Merc Tread's coming in because you're against Syndra and Ashe. Makes total sense to buy that item. And Herald's going to reset one time.
All right, FlyQuest moving in with the extra gold spent too. Plenty of control wards down. It's so scary right now if you're looking at even possibly contesting for EG, so they just don't. They are already sending Bang down bottom side. FlyQuest, another objective picked up here. They really do have a lot to wait on here. Seraph's not transformed yet for Goldenglue. Trying to fight themselves out of a deficit. Instead of contesting, just try and trade stuff on the other side of the map.
Let's see what they can trade, though, because right now FlyQuest are taking everything that they would want. You've got no one answering bot lane farm right now, no Drake to pick up, and we'll say at least the Herald is theirs. And on the FlyQuest side, I should say, it'll be Turtle running back down to catch that wave that Bang is pushing in. Let's see what the next play is going to be. Drake spawning in 2 minutes, Baron just after that one, although a 20-minute Baron doesn't seem likely for either of these compositions. Top lane again, Solo and Huni doing damage to one another. Blade of the Ruin King is completed. Solo has plenty of damage as a result. FlyQuest playing defensively a bit now. Svenskeren wants in, looks for the stun, not going to find either one, but the root means the dunk means the damage means a big play on PowerOfEvil, and he's going to be shockwaved, and Goldenglue has found himself that kill. IgNar cannot just barely dodge away as Zeyzal shows up for the tongue lash, and EG have 2 kills on the board. They get the gold right back where it was before, and they're ready to push in the mid lane.
Yep, they've got a minion wave to work with. Huge play now with 2 members of FlyQuest down. EG can break open this map. Their first turret of the game is mid-turret. This is huge. You can lay behind wards now through the enemy jungle. There's a dragon coming up in just over 1 minute. Not only are they going to get that teamfight victory, plus the safety of the mid tower down, but they set themselves up for a dragon play. Beautiful deep vision now for them all through that blue side of the jungle.
Beautiful stuff. Is this enough for EG to turn the series around? The answer is definitely maybe. I realize
groundbreaking stuff here.
Groundbreaking play-by-play analysis, by the way. Plat 1 Flex Q, by the way, I'm gaining elo right now, is there's a fight in the top side. Solo's going to keep his turret barely alive. Huni not quite going for the autos on it. He's respecting Solo, going for chip damage on the Renekton. It will finally drop, and Huni never attacked the turret. He got no gold for that turret kill. The 250 went nowhere, but it is still going to be the turret in the mid lane taking damage.
Yeah, FlyQuest are like, oh, nice vision you got deep inside our blue side, but if they can make a power move on mid, they take down that mid turret, they're getting mirrored vision, and they get it through red quadrant of EG set up here, so FlyQuest will have positioning as well. Honestly, though, it was a really nice Orianna combo in the last setup from EG, yep. So they're going to look for a similar thing. Svenskeren's ultimate for Sett coming back up very quickly here, and if he can look for that positioning again, whoa, IgNar is super deep. He's looking for one of his classic IgNar flanks. Can he get to the backside? There are flashes on both carries about to be available. Goldenglue is just barely up. Plus he has the extra safety of the shield.
IgNar going for the play, gets a knockup, burns the stopwatch. A stun on Zeyzal means absolutely nothing, and IgNar goes back to his team to stay alive. FlyQuest do not get much out of the engage, and that is several Earth's ult burned. Huni, by the way, ready to go Mega Gnar, has the ulti up, has flash as well. This is the power spike for EG, is a level 13 Mega Gnar, and that means it's time for FlyQuest to run away. They looked at the opportunity, they tried their hardest, it didn't matter. Zeyzal had a QSS as his first major item, and it meant there was no engage. So EG get Drake number 2, and definitely maybe can win this. And when we come back on screen, it'll be the live game post-chrono break. Here we are, actual live gameplay, and we are on for the rest of it.
All right, let's get to it then. 17 seconds left on this Dragon FlyQuest with the inside track. Once again, need to mark IgNar here. Svenskeren did a good job last time looking for him. They usher up the mid wave, and Solo with a fully charged bar on the top side gets a big stun.
Yeah, big damage there onto Huni. He's going to be pretty low. Thankfully, Senna can get that back a little bit, but Mountain Drake is on the board, and Huni still has to build up some rage. So auto attack over the wall, Qs it as well, trying to get that built up. More healing coming through from the Senna, and still 3k health on the Drake. If there's time to do it, it is before Mega Gnar can be had, but they're playing it a little bit slowly. Huni about to be Mega, can't get over the wall in time. Good smite, good pickup there. Santorin claims Drake number 2. FlyQuest now tie that score. And without Huni able to get Mega Gnar in time, there is no real engaged threat, and EG can only push in the mid lane. Now, this could still be pretty good. They have the inside track. They've got this turret at 60% health, but they will not go any further. They will not try to knock that one down. Instead, ooh, it is Solo on the wrong side of the play. He can try to TP in the brush, but there is vision. Thankfully for him, though, there are no recall stops. There's no way to stop that one. Sorry, teleport stops, as Gnar cannot stun, and out he goes with only Burning Summoner teleport.
So the positioning before this setup was so big for FlyQuest getting there first, having brush advantage, and simply this fully charged Renekton combo in the brush, setting up extra damage over the wall from Syndra as well, bursting down Huni, just means that the FlyQuest are able to further stave off the possible dragon stacking here for EG. I think that was a really big dragon fight for them, even though no kills go over.
All right, so Ben going to go back into the mid lane and keep the farm going. Decent CS onto him, but WildTurtle at 270 is a great clip. PowerOfEvil right behind that one as well. Goldenglue the same, so good farm on 3 of the carries in this game. A slightly more defensive role, of course, for Bang, going towards Rapid Fire Cannon to get that first auto attack off. That can, of course, be very valuable. And you really do have good upfront damage on Senna, and just barely not catching the recall out of IgNar. That could have been the chance at a kill, or at least a flash burned away. End of the day won't mean much. Bang comes to give his champions some movement speed, turn them into wraiths for a second, but no plays to be had but wave clear in the mid lane.
Yeah, they've got plenty of cooldowns to use as well. WildTurtle has the Hawk Shot. They've got both Scryers available for them, so they don't have to get worried at all here right now for FlyQuest, even though EG can walk on and stick around this Baron. They have plenty of stuff to check it, even with that Scuttle Crab and Svenskeren being the only one they saw walk in, still using one of them.
Well, again, the play is around the mid lane as Santorin and Solo walk up to knock this one down. A little bit of a slow, not going to mean too much, but it puts Guardian on cooldown, which is a minor benefit in case it's a fight right away. Huni running back up the river. Current ward controls with FlyQuest. They took down the Scuttle about 50 seconds ago. Coming out soon. And mid lane is cleared back by Bang there as well, waiting for his recall. Doesn't have money for RFC, so not taking the recall just yet until he has that money. He's got enough mana he can play around the map. Obviously full health, no big deal for him. Stun is going to land. Decent damage out of PowerOfEvil. Still not going to stop anyone, though, and Bang is back to hitting minions.
I feel like they should be having Huni split pushing right now, though. His teleport is up. He's got the frozen mallet build, so when you invest into that and you're slow, that's a lot more beneficial for your 1v1s in the side lane, chasing down the Renekton. You've got extra speed with your hyper, with your fleet footwork, and since you have the slow from your frozen mallet, you can keep the Renekton at distance. So all that maneuvering here around mid, I think they should have got him pushing a little bit earlier. He is there now if you look at the side wave, so should be able to get it up, and it is a reset. They're buying their extra control wards so that their other 4-man group on the other part can actually pull pressure away from him and allow him to try and get that extra damage.
My guess, Kobe, was he was letting minions die as the bot lane is stacking up towards his own turret. Ooh, that's a shockwave. That's a big play towards Santorin. They're over the wall. They're going for the chase down. His ulti has been burned. He has flash if he needs it, and he's going to get away. Ulti not going to land. He flash ulted and got Santorin's ult to get away from that one. So can't blame the chance of the cooldown. Can't blame the chance of the kill. But now there is a flashless, ultiless Volibear forced to heal back inside the base.
And honestly, the flash and ult for Gnar, definitely a bit bigger impact for the team fights. But those two being traded there, Santorin, good use to get himself out of there with the escape. I still think Huni can be extremely useful to the team if they do work around the rage bar. The teleport now giving you the extra speed coming in is really big, and he's level 16 now, but he does have to start charging up his rage a little bit beforehand.
A little bit of poke from Huni, trying to stack up the rage a bit there. IgNar walking forward, not going to land that boomerang yet. Still 50 seconds on the Drake. Big damage towards Zeyzal, not quite going to land on a Bang, though. First Ashe arrow I've seen miss from Turtle in quite a while, to be honest. And now, here comes the engage. The attempted play, a knock up there. Zeyzal has to burn the QSS, gets away, gets a shield, gets to stay alive. Re-engage coming in, dunk under the backline, hits on a 3. Big stun comes across, Senna over the top as well. And EG want this fight. Can they kill Santorin? They're going to get IgNar first. Solo in the backline, gets 1 kill. He is right in the front and kites right back out. 4v4 in this fight. Double root comes in, but not enough for a kill. EG back to the mid lane. Their health bars can be sustained back up by the Senna. And to keep in mind that this Drake spawns in 20 seconds. Who's going to be healthy enough to do this one right now? EG could push in for mid, but they want to answer Drake as well. Which way do they go with this one? They're going to leave mid alone. They're going to play for the Drake instead when they could have gotten mid lane tier 2. They want to wait around, but Solo, keep in mind, he has a rage bar. He's level 16, no ulti, but a lot of stats on him. Not going to find the roots. Going to force Solo to back off and go into towards his Drake. As Santorin comes back onto the map, IgNar has respawned. The same's going to happen to Huni in 18 seconds. A very desynced recall. Very desynced respawn. Now look at the Drake right now. It's a 4v4, but soon the 5th will be here. As into the front line goes the jungler, goes for the smite steal, cannot grab it, and it's a 2 for 0 if you count the Drake as a kill. WildTurtle, of course, on the board with that one, and now IgNar is there. EG could have gotten mid lane tier 2. Instead, they chose to die in the Drake pit.
Huni's alive now with his teleport available, but I think with the kill on the Svenskeren, it's just too big of a loss for EG, and they won't be able to punish at all. That was so big for FlyQuest. Smite landing as well as getting the kill here and being able to get out after the Orianna damage. Look at the setup here. All right, so once again, that arrow splits right between Zeyzal and Bang, so it doesn't get cooldowns out of either of them. And then they try and force because they want to get the recall from Orianna. There's the teleport starts channeling. IgNar gets the lockdown onto Bang and Zeyzal, but there's no damage there to follow up. So no damage during the CC means it's a good counter-engage opportunity for Svenskeren. Dunks right into the middle, and they get the big punish onto IgNar first, but Solo's Renekton can burst down Huni in the exchange. Then we get our 4v4 standoff.
MVP Syndra stun. Huni had Gnar. He had ulti available with it, but keep in mind, no flash from the attempt on Santorin. Means he had to walk forward to find an ult. PoE stunned him, Flash W from Solo killed him off, and never did we see the Gnar ultimate. Sterix Gage is in, but by the way, that shield does not pop on Gnar. It is a melee-only shield. The chance to one-shot Gnar still exists for this team. Death Dance done for Solo, and I need to see more out of Huni's Gnar.
Yeah, so the Sterix, Huni has bought this for years on Gnar, and I know it's a super hot topic. As you said, doesn't work in mini, which is where you really want it. If you get burst down like we saw in the last fight. Oh.
Easy cleanse. Out goes Zeyzal.
Huni is flanking, by the way, with 50% rage bar.
I think EG need this one. They need to try for this one. Huni getting the rage bar up pretty quickly. He's going to find himself a stun, but he's still going to be alive. Redemption there as well. He is available for Mega. When can he go in? When can he hop in and take down FlyQuest? That was the makings of a 3-man stun if he could get the hop in, but nothing comes through. He burned it to run away from Renekton, so there's no engage, and Gnar is timing out, and Huni unable to find anything with this pick. FlyQuest outplaying the Gnar bar every time. Back to Mini.
Yeah, I think he was a bit worried about the distance to the rest of the team. He only had viable frontline targets, so a little bit scared there with the positioning of the rest of the team, and FlyQuest will take that opportunity. Baron started up. There is a teleport on Solo. Where's the deep wards?
They're going to need vision. They don't know if they're in the brush. They don't know if they're in the pit. It's still losing a lot of health. They've got to finally find out with 6k health left. Now FlyQuest pulling the teleport. When does the play begin? Huni once again needs to rebuild the Gnar bar. Needs to find Solo for some decent damage. And that's going to look good for the Gnar side of this one. The 4v4 in front of the Baron pit is not great for FlyQuest. They're still taking damage. They're losing resistance. They're losing health. EG can feel good, but Bang is low on mana. He's got most of that resource gone right now. Has to be very smart about when he presses other buttons. Can attack mid lane, but cannot regen meaningful mana right now. Can't really queue the wave because he would be unable to cast any spells in the team fight. And at the end of the day, look at the game state we are in. A 1,000 gold lead for FlyQuest. They are 2 minutes away from Mountain Soul. And EG have been lacking damage in these fights.
But now Huni's flash will be available for EG. It is a small window before Turtles becomes available, but that is the one that you want to punish. Huni should be looking for his flank, big flash ultimate, not just onto frontline targets, onto the Ashe. So if they're tracking that cooldown, they have a small window to try and go for it before Turtles' flash comes up. I don't think that it is going to work out for their dragon timing, so maybe they try and force something a bit earlier. You see them looking here. Huni doesn't really have super deep wards to teleport on, though, so probably going to have to walk his way over. And Turtle is about to get out of the danger zone when his flash comes back up.
PoE 16, Banshee's Veil, Deathcap, similar build. Nice stun. Here comes the almost attempt, but no play coming through just yet. Blue buff on PoE, that makes him feel really comfortable. 50 seconds on Mountain Drake. That is Soul for FlyQuest if they get it. Looking back in the mid lane, a little bit of damage towards Solo, but he is fine. Glacial does its best from Bang. Now another stun going to come through. Zeyzal, early QSS, might not have needed it, but regardless, he is once again unstunned. Solo going to look for the play around, but not going to find anything just yet. Santorin takes a bit of damage. Huni once again Gnar and has flash. Can he find his way in once again? They've got about 5 seconds to make this play happen. Can they get in? IgNar getting a bit low. Huni, can he E-flash? Can he make this play? He is nearby. Could have jumped over the PoE ball, but not going to find the play. Back to Mini. Once again, waiting for that cooldown to come back. Waiting for the bar to refill. It'll be 30 seconds away, though. Drake spawning in 15, and EG control the bottom side of the map. And they can send 1 to Drake and 4 to stop Baron. Svenskeren can just solo this Drake right now, and now they can contest. This feels like EG should at least contest. Right now, it is FlyQuest on the play. What's it going to look like? They are sending all 5 to defend. 5k health left on the Baron. They look at the control ward over the wall. They know what's going on. 4,000 health left. FlyQuest probably cannot stay inside the pit. They have to peel back. Solo wants in. Flashes. Look for Bang. Looks for the play. Good play by Zeyzal. Gets him right back out. But Gnar finds the charm. Shockwave only onto 1, and he will stay alive. Santorin is up for this one. Going to walk back. No problem. Baron will not hit him again. But the health bar lead is with Evil Geniuses. They survive the fight. They survive the flash engage. And Drake is theirs for free if they want it.
Yep, FlyQuest tried to do that for us during the exhausted period for Gnar. Now, are they going to have another attempt here? Because once again, down to the Dragon Soul for FlyQuest, PowerOfEvil, and FlyQuest know that they don't have time to work with.
They're letting Huni solo it. The rest of the team needs to come right back down. It's still a 5-on-5 overall. He's going to give up on the Drake and instead play for the fight. Ulti's, of course, missing for most of Evil Geniuses, missing for most of FlyQuest here as well. 5k health still left on the Baron. Santorin over the wall. Does have flash, does have smite, but no ulti. Would have to burn summoners to get back in the pit other than that blast plant. And it will reset once again. Send Huni towards that Drake. Let him go do all the work. Let him knock that one down. Prevent Soul Point from being claimed by FlyQuest. Get yourself back to 3 as well. Really not under a bit of fire, not going to be knocked down. Blue buff handed over to Goldenglue, no problem there. EG, when can they make the play happen? Huni, close to Gnar. Hop backwards, though. Again, will not have the engage tools, but they might hem them in. Huni could look for a slow shockwave. Catches Turtle. They find some damage. Can they find the root? They will catch it. The flash pulls it in, and here comes the dunk. Here comes the play. Is it enough? Svenskeren cannot get the kill, but there's the Gnar. It's a stun on a 3, and it's 3 kills picked up. Solo is on the run, and EG have finally turned the corner.
Goldenglue is able to tag him, and he's chasing down Solo, too. He's not done yet, Freak.
Oh, it's going to be dangerous. Lurks the pull right back in. Healing back up out of the turret. 1Q will kill him, and they're going to get that kill of 4-for-0. And EG want to go for the base instead. 30-second respawn timers. It might be the Nexus itself. IgNar against the world for 20 seconds till Santorin comes back up. And EG want to pull a game back in this series. The Baron dance lasted about 3 minutes. They finally got the team fight. IgNar can't cut him away in time. Gonna go for the charm, gonna go for the knockup, but there are still no respawn timers. Turret number 1 is gone. Turret number 2 is next. And evil geniuses have started the comeback. They will knock down the Nexus and take a game in this best of 5.